Tonight on Brumbies TV, women's rugby is in the spotlight and three future stars join us in the studio. Christian Lealiifano opens up about life outside rugby, and we preview tomorrow's clash with the Blues.
Here at Brumbies headquarter on this cold Canberra morning, here's Sam Carter. Thanks for joining us.
No worries.
You had an impressive win over the Reds with the bonus point. How did you feel the result?
It was good. I mean, we had a 4-week break and a few of the boys went to Mauritius and there was a few of the boys with the Wallabies, but it was good to get everyone back together and get the result against the Reds.
Yeah, of course, it's good to have a team back. Now, Stephen Moore led the game with 2 tries over the rolling maul. What does it feel like inside that intense maul? Like, what goes through your head?
It's pretty tough. It's pretty much all about the setup in the first 3 seconds. So for us, we want to win the line out, execute the drill, and then get down as soon as possible and start moving forward so we can get the momentum going across the line.
Of course. Now, 2016, you've had no injuries so far, but last year you weren't so lucky. How do you feel to be injury-free at the moment?
It feels good.
Yeah?
There's a lot of work that goes into the preparation. We do a lot of training to stay healthy. So it's been good so far. So hopefully I can continue the streak.
Unfortunately, Ben Hike didn't do as much of a debut as he would have liked, staying 5 minutes on the field. How does it feel watching him kind of leave the field last week?
I feel pretty bad for Heine. I mean, he worked really hard to get his opportunity when he got out there. He was very unfortunate with an injury, but I guess that's just part of the game. That happens to everyone. So I know he'll train hard to get back, and he'll get back in the team next year.
Great stuff. Now we'll talk some more about the Auckland game coming up, but for now, let's watch some of the match highlights from the game against the Reds.
The Reds arrived in chilly Canberra, severe underdogs, but crossed first against a slow-starting Brumbies outfit.
Breakaway now, getting very close, they're over!
The Brumbies returned serve with a penalty and a try of their own, and took a half-time lead when Nick Frisbee failed to find touch. Ben Alexander producing this. 2 minutes into the second half, the Reds thought they'd drawn level, but the TMO found Wallaby Eto Nabuli clip the paint on his way around the Brumbies' defence.
This one here, pick up the chalk. Stephen Moore.
The Brumbies found more points at the end of their rolling maul, Stephen Moore breaking the record for the most tries by a hooker in a season.
It's a try to the Brumbies, who fleet.
The Reds weren't done yet though.
And now it is Karevi away from one. And out it goes to Duncan Paiawa. And he has got his first ever try in Super Rugby.
On return from a stint for Argentina, Tomas Cubelli came off the bench for the first time this year. His spark helping Christian Lealiifano add to his season tally.
It's a try to the Brumbies. 4.
Cubelli saw 5 points of his own,
Recycle and Cubelli throws a dummy and he is over.
and the Brumbies cruised to a 19-point victory.
An impressive display against the whole team there. Now, we will talk a bit about Auckland, but for now, I did hear you and Scott Vardy have a bit of a bromance going on, is that right?
Yeah, there's been talk of that over the last couple of years. When we first moved down here, we came down pretty much the same time, started living together, and we were playing in the second row at the time. So yeah, I guess a little bit of a bromance was formed.
It's blossoming. Now, you do have 2 games left till the end of the season, and you haven't been picked for a spot in the finals yet. What do you think you guys were doing off the field to secure your place in a big party?
Yeah, nothing much changes for us. It's just training as hard as we can and preparing the best we can. There's 2 games to go, and we need to win those games to get in the final. If we don't win those games, we probably don't deserve to be there. So we've just got to put our heads down and keep working.
So the Chiefs and the Crusaders are big title holders, but the Waratahs did prove that you can knock out a big title holder. What do you think the Brumbies could do differently to take down a heavyweight?
We played the Hurricanes. We knocked them off first round. We came close in parts against the Chiefs, even though the result didn't go our way. We played well against the Highlanders over in Invercargill. We have to just stick to our structures and make sure we play the best that we can play.
Yeah, great stuff. Now, you will be heading over to Auckland soon, hoping it'll be a bit warmer than Canberra, or?
Yeah, well, I think anywhere is a bit warmer than here, so we'll see how we go.
And how are you feeling towards the game?
Yeah, I feel good. It's just good to be back in Canberra and have a bit of consistency. We've been away for 4 weeks and living in hotels, but when you get back to Canberra and your own house, it's a lot nicer, and I think you see that in the attitude of the boys.
Great stuff. Well, enjoy being home before you head off to Auckland, and all the best in the game.
No worries, thanks, Britt.
Thanks so much. More coming up on Brumbies TV.
Yeah, I always enjoy playing here at GIO Stadium. You know, I've played here the last 5 seasons now, so it's a pretty special place for me, and the family always make the trip down. So it's good to be back, you know, amongst the boys and continue with our cafe.
The Chiefs and the Crusaders flew to Fiji for their second clash of the season, and James Lowe flew in for the first 5-pointer. Rain greeted the sides for the first Super Rugby clash in the country, but it didn't slow Damien McKenzie down, offloading to Brad Webber 10 minutes before the break.
And the Chiefs are in again.
The Crusaders made fans sweat until half-time for their first try, but it was worth the wait.
Popped up by Reed, but they're still lined up here.
Johnny McAlay, the finisher.
And that's a popular try for Johnny McAlay.
Mackenzie kicked 13 points for the Chiefs and it proved the difference, going home with a 20-13 victory.
They've got the victory.
Wet weather also tested fans in Argentina as the Jaguars recorded their 3rd win of the season. This 25-metre rolling maul, a rare highlight in the conditions. The home side's forwards dominated as the Bulls' playoffs hopes took a hit.
They'll have to watch on the short side over the line.
The final score 29 points to 11. Let's take a look around the grounds. The Waratahs stuck with the Brumbies with a bonus point win in Japan. The Hurricanes smashed the Blues and the Stormers were too good for the Rebels in Melbourne. The Lions were convincing over the Sharks, the Kings are thinking about next season now, and the Cheetahs had a narrow win over the Force. After round 15, a shift at the top of the ladder. The Lions are on top, with the Chiefs close behind. The Brumbies and the Waratahs remain on equal points. Meanwhile, teams in the second half of the ladder are playing for bragging rights with 2 rounds to go.
I'm originally from a touch background, but had Sarah here and a couple of the other touchies switch codes, and they jumped over and started playing with Royals, and they dragged me along to a game, and I really enjoyed myself, and yeah, and that was just last year. So I started through school gala days, so went along to a couple of them and got noticed from that, and then started club rugby, and then went from there.
Began in college on a one-day comp, and one of the coaches from Eagles invited me along to one of the tryouts, and from there played schoolgirls and now women's.
So I was just in a development squad last year. We went to Central Coast Sevens and played with 7 of the contracted Aussie players, and then we had a few development players in with us. So yeah, that was an awesome experience for me. It's been a big challenge for me, coming from a touch background, a lot to learn, and it's been so great being with such a big mix of experience and stuff, training with some of the Wallaroos girls like Louise Burrows or Cookies, better known. It's been really awesome, learnt so much from them, it's really enjoyable. It's a lot of people's goals for that. It would be an awesome and amazing experience to do that. So yeah, I suppose majority of our team would have that as one of their goals. Well, who knows? I guess it's obviously a goal, it would be awesome. But yeah, I'm hoping so. Maybe in the future. I'm still young, so hopefully when I'm older and have more experience under my belt, that'll be a viable goal, yeah. It was different. Growing up with my younger brother and stuff, we've always been a bit physical playing around, but it was a lot different being hit by forwards. We've got a lot of girls in our team that have come from touch and Oztag, so it's really exciting and it's really good for our backline, so we all get to work together and we can throw some exciting new moves around, which is good.
Holloway now, Lealiifano stepping! Christian Lealiifano! Fancy footwork, it was too good for Tatafu Polonanau.
I like an environment where when it's time to work hard and take things as serious as you can to achieve some maximum goals, then there's a time for you to do that, and then at the same time to enjoy what you do every day, because I guess life's pretty short. Everyone has their hardships, and I guess for myself personally, like losing my father quite young, knowing that you know, if you're going to dwell on a lot of things and sort of, everyone mourns differently obviously, but if you're going to sort of dwell on things and then try and take life too seriously, I think you probably won't find your ultimate happiness. I like creating happiness around me, making sure everyone's enjoying what they're doing.
No better man to do it. Well-liked player, one of the best team men in rugby.
You don't want to do this for a living anymore. You just got to sit back and smell the roses a bit and really take in and be grateful for the opportunities you have. And I think I've always tried to drive that in and around people that are around me, whether that's in a footy environment or at home with my family and friends. It's just having I guess, the lighter side to life. And ultimately it creates happiness, and you don't want too many serious people, or there's a space for it, for seriousness and angry people and sad people, but at the end of the day everyone wants to be happy, and it's such a better emotion than being sad.
I began doing a bit of boxing with the AIS. I was in a tryout for Sevens actually, a talent development squad. However, they asked me from my results, would you like to try a combat sport? And I was very interested in boxing and judo. However, it was getting pretty full on with rugby and some of the other hobbies I was doing, and I didn't continue it, but I keep up my fitness with boxing, but found that rugby was more suited to me than boxing in the end.
Yeah, it was a really good opportunity for me and I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was a really good bunch of people out there. So, nah, it's really technical. So we do about 3 sessions a week just on the whiteboard, and then we go out and, yeah, not just chuck a frisbee around, there's lots of different aspects to it.
Well, we just had a good win against them on the weekend, so I think that's lifted us to a high expectation. However, you know, Roars is going to come back stronger, and our team has so much to work on. There's a lot of new girls, but it's great working with a new team because you've got young talent to develop and everything like that. But yeah, looking forward to see if we get into the finals.
Yeah, I mean, it was an amazing experience. My first year in 2012, we made the grand final and unfortunately lost to Uni North. And then last year we got another opportunity to win, and yeah, it was really exciting. Casey was with that too, so yeah, it was a really good, fun night.
Oh God, like just getting myself to training was, like Cookie'd always be on my back messaging me, making sure I was turning up, and if ever I have any questions, I know she'll give me the right answer. So she's been a massive part of my development, especially with rugby and all the contact stuff, because that's her forte. She loves it and it's awesome learning off her.
Oh, obviously we'd love our Aussies to win.
I'd like to see the Brumbies get up, and I think they've got the skills to do it.
Yeah, growing up I did a lot of singing with my dad and a few musicals in school, but yeah, I love singing and yeah.
Let's take a look at how the Brumbies and the Blues match up ahead of their clash in Auckland. They've played 20 games and the Blues have won 12. The last time the sides met was 15 months ago when the home side had a narrow win. Keep an eye on the back row where Jared Butler will clash with a more experienced Jeremy Kano. Of the 13 games this year, 8 Blues games have been decided by a converted try or less. In other games this week, the Reds head back to sunny Queensland to play the Chiefs. On Saturday, the Rebels are in New Zealand looking to upset the Crusaders. The Waratahs will have a tough match at home. And on Sunday, the Sharks host the Cheetahs and the Highlanders are in South America.
My first year with the Brumbies was actually my first year in rugby, and I had no idea what I was doing, and I was pulled from the backs and put in a flanker and just told to follow this certain girl around.
It was really overwhelming. I got an email for the schoolgirls Brumbies, which would have been 2012.
Last year was the first year I wore the Brumbies women's jersey, and it was definitely a massive honour.
Putting on the Brumbies jersey with the horse on it the very first time was an exceptionally proud moment. I've always respected the Brumbies Super Rugby side, and to run out for the women's side was a very, very proud moment. Listen, it's whatever occurs to me at the moment.
Probably like my shirt over my head and do it many times.
It could be like a nice little jig.
Usually just dance around.
I have no idea.
I do like the self-high five.
I just smile and wave. I just go, okay, and then walk back to my position. That's it.
There's definitely a massive stereotype about rugby, well there was, about women's rugby in particular, and I don't think that's true.
Not many girls give it a go because they're not sure what to expect or the physicality of it, but there's a position for everyone.
It's definitely something that I've never regretted, and I've made some lifelong friends and been able to travel the world, so definitely give it a go.
It was a game of two halves at Nichols Oval on a sunny and cold afternoon. The first belonged to Royals as George Stewart found a way around the Gungahlin defence.
The other, he had enough pace to get around him, and some cheers you can hear around us at the moment.
The surface was still recovering from a drenching 2 weeks ago. All 36 points were scored at the southern end of the ground.
First time this afternoon we see Royals in some space, and it's Pedro Rolando who's going to...
Pedro Rolando added a penalty goal to his try before he was forced from the field due to injury. Royals taking a 17-0 lead into half-time. The side swapped roles in the second half as Gungahlin stopped making errors and started finding the chalk. Royals defended well as the Eagles held field position for most of the half. The home side knew their ground well, Dan Garner taking the lead with this brilliant effort.
They're still going now. One away, and it's Garner who will get over the line. Fantastic show and go.
Royals' Harry Tyson had this penalty kick to win the game in the final minute, but the Eagles held on to win 19 points to 17.